Matt, you ever been involved in a game where there was a block charge call, looked like it, and they called a double foul?
No. They normally get together and just try to figure out what happened first. And so, and then when they got together, the last thing you either think you're going to get that call or the call is going to go against you. So we were just preparing to, to block out and make sure we had our press offense set up.
How did you see the call?
Well, I'm away from it, so who cares what I think? I'm really good on top, but I'm not very good 60 feet away. So if I'm 10 feet away from it, I got a good feel for it. But it was coming at me, so I couldn't see what Swanigan was doing. I could only see how he was, kind of turning the corner and lowered his shoulder, but I couldn't see what Swanigan was doing.
Do you have a feel for how that changed the game at that point? The big guys are gone all of a sudden.
Exactly. It takes, and that's the tough part about it. It takes, the guy that's really been, productive for them, out of the game also. And then it takes, Swanigan for us, even though it wasn't a game where he scored a lot, he's still that guy that on misses is going to get us those rebounds and kind of finish off good defensive possessions. But there's no doubt there's going to be a change in that game. They get that call, he's at the free throw line, Swanigan's out. They don't get the call, we're taking the ball out of bounds because it's player control and we're not shooting free throws. But now Bryant's out. So it was a big call.
Matt, what was the play coming out of the timeout that got Swanigan the N1? Can you just walk us through what?
Well, we had it earlier. They're being aggressive on ball screen, so we just wanted to try to slip out of a ball screen. And Dakota made a good read on that slip and got Swanigan there. And then, since the rules have changed with the arc, the guy actually makes a pretty good defensive play that now is not a good defensive play. And so he has to jump. And then he got in the arc and didn't jump, so that's how we got the N1. Did he make the free throw?
Yeah.
Did he make it? Okay.
Matt, have you learned anything about this team from these last two games where you've had to go into hostile environments and win without Swanigan on the floor?
Right. Well, sure. We've shown some mental toughness, which I didn't think we had in the first half. I thought we, didn't get a couple loose balls. We broke on some things. I thought we were getting hit a little bit on the interior, but that's just part of it. And our guys were, complaining about getting hit. And that's just part of playing basketball. You got to be able to finish around the rim, and we didn't do a good job. But I thought we showed some toughness, got a couple loose balls, got some defensive rebounds, got some stops, and then at the end, made our free throws.
Matt, I think one of maybe the toughest plays was when PJ gets an offensive rebound and then an offensive basket at crucial time.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Well, right as he starts to go, you think, he's going to get a shot block. Even though he's kind of shocked, he got the rebound and noticed nobody was around and put it back. That was a big play for us.
That Vince bounces back in a huge way. What does this tell you about what type of kid he is?
Well, he did some really good things against Maryland. He didn't score the ball. He was 0 for 7, but I thought he did a really good job on Justin Jackson. He had some key rebounds for us, and he helped us win. And tonight he helped us win in a different fashion, having 26 and 8, and was just very consistent. They a couple of times when I think they just they paid too much attention to Swanigan. And if you just sit on the perimeter sometimes with those big guys, you can end up being open and really not having to do a whole lot. And he nailed a couple shots in that first half, and I think that really got him going. But he had a great game for us.
Did you win this game differently than you figured you'd have to?
What's that?
Did you win this game differently than you figured you'd have to?
Yeah, I thought this game would be in the high 70s, low 80s. Both teams are good offensive teams. They're average to above average, defensive teams. And, I really thought that's the way it would be. But both teams played better defense than they had, and both teams had some looks that they normally knocked down that they didn't.
Matt, what about your you guys are right there at the top towards the Big Ten tournament. How do you see it playing out? And
you can't control it, as much as you used to, just because, now anytime you get beat by somebody, you want to go face them again. And you might face them and you might not, And so it's not balanced. And sometimes that has no effect. Sometimes it helps you, sometimes it hurts you. It's just different each year. But we just got to worry about Rutgers, our next game. Obviously, Wisconsin's 2 games ahead of us and they're playing right now. We can't control any of that, but, we need to keep our focus, on our play and, and being humble and just worry about our next practice on Saturday.
You had a couple of big ranked teams that you beat coming into this game, but now you get a big win at Assembly Hall.
Right.
Just where does this win stack up in those last 3 games?
Well, anytime, you can win on the road in this league, especially in an environment like this, it's definitely going to help you. You can't have enough road wins trying to build your resume to get into the NCAA tournament. So this was a tough game, but, you also got to understand, Indiana doesn't have a lot of their guys. Colin Hartman's a good player. He affects winning. And OG's a really good player. And so now when they get into foul trouble, it's just not normal foul trouble. It's two guys are out, one guy's injured that just came back, and now a couple other guys are in foul trouble. And so to their defense, that if we had two guys out, we don't. We don't have any of that besides the foul trouble. And so you got to keep that in perspective. If you're an Indiana fan.
Has Carson been better with his consistency and whatnot in Big Ten play than you figured he would be?
Carson, I didn't think was very good to start the second half. Then I thought when he subbed back in, he was great. And he goes through those stretches where he's really good. It's almost like he has a good start to the game, then he has a tough stretch when he subs back in, and then vice versa. And he kind of flips it around. Just trying to get that consistency and that concentration probably more than anything. But you see what he can do. He gets to the rim in the transition. He had 3 different basketballs that he should have had for layups. 2 that he messed up, and then the other one, Blackman did a good job of fouling him, and they weren't in the bonus yet. But he had those 3 opportunities that didn't translate to any points. But that's what we need him doing. We need him being able to kind of make those plays and get those steals and generate points for us.
The defense you're getting from Dakota,
Yeah.
Blackman's only 3 for 14.
Right. Dakota's been great. He did a good job other night defending. He did a good job on Vic Law the game before that. He did a good job on Peter Jock once. Peter Jock got him another time. But, he's just kind of found his way as a defensive guy in terms of being where he's supposed to, following the scouting report, and just being detailed. And he has experience. You expect somebody by the time they're a junior from a cerebral standpoint, just to understand what's going on at all times. And I thought he did a good job, on him tonight. In James's defense, we've all seen James make all the shots he took. You know what I mean? He's that type of a player. Sometimes when you see him dribble into threes and shoot, if you haven't seen him play before, you'd think it's like a hurried shot. But he makes those. That's his rhythm shot. And once he gets his legs under him and he gets 100% healthy, But no, Dakota, not to take anything away from him, Dakota did a great job.
What's this win mean for your team?
Oh, just one more road win. Like I said earlier, you can't have as many, road wins. I thought we did a good job of our losses on the road have been, kind of games where we've been better offensively, not as good defensively. Tonight we're able to, to grind this win out. I think it was a good way to win for this team because we haven't had a lot of these. We've had a couple of them, but we haven't had a lot of them like this. And it was good to see those guys kind of do it with their defense and make their free throws and just finish it off.
Anything else?
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.